Ortiz into deep right field. Back is Sheffield. We'll see you later tonight.
Hear the little yapper outside.
Yeah, he knows what time it is.
It's 4:03 talk time.
Yeah.
Yo,
Saturday morning.
back at it.
Oh yeah.
Saturday morning, I'm rocking my old Cooperstown hat.
There you go.
Little throwback. If anyone's played in the Cooperstown tournament, drop your comment. I'm trying to just see what years everybody played. I know a lot of major league players got to play in the Cooperstown tournament. I'm sure I played against plenty when I was out there, but fell back a little bit. I was trying to look at that dog outside. But anyways, it's May 10th now. You want to do a little throwback for us on this day?
Yeah. Let's get started. This one goes back to 2001. If you're familiar with former outfielder Jeremy Burnitz.
Oh yeah.
Yep. The Brewers defeated the Cubs that day 11-1. Jeremy Burnitz hit 3 home runs that game, driving in 6. And the Brewers start their 8-0 in their new ballpark, which was then Miller Park. So a little bit of Milwaukee history for you.
Yeah, they've got some cool history actually. A lot of really cool throwback players too with the Brewers. I got one for you as well. I'm sure you've seen this on there. But 1967, I had to do this one because I'm a Hammer and Hank fan. I think our mom made us a Hank Aaron fan growing up. But 1967, Hank Aaron of the Braves hits an inside a park home run off Jim Bunning. And it was Hank Aaron's only inside the park home run of his career. So kind of cool. It might not sound much, but if you think about it and how many home runs Hank Aaron hit in his career and kind of the old ballparks too, where it seems like maybe you could probably hit it inside the park or in some of those parks a little easier, but just to have one of his career, it did fall on today, May 10th, but 1967. It's pretty. That's a throwback right there. Mom was 3 years old.
Yep.
And also, too, I'll go ahead and just say his stats because I feel like they should be always remembered for Hank Aaron. He had 12,364 at-bats. It's a lot of at-bats. And through that time, he was able to keep and maintain a 305 batting average. That was his lifetime batting average. That's super impressive. He wasn't just a home run hitter. He was a hitter in general. 755 home runs, 2,297 RBIs, 240 stolen bases, and a .929 OPS. So what a beast, man. Yeah. I'm looking at his just consistent too. Like the bats that he took, other than his rookie year, he had 468 at bats. He had pretty much up until the end of his career had 500 bats or more. Up until the very end, he dropped back in the early 70s, getting to the late 70s. So pretty impressive, man. Mobile, Alabama. They have his. We went down there a couple years ago for my birthday. And they remember him all over the city. But as soon as we got there and started walking around, the first thing I saw was a huge Hank Aaron painting on the side of one of their like restaurants or something. So that's pretty cool. But that's what I have. Did want to move on to recaps now?
Yeah, we got some good ones from last night. You want to start us off with Jason Dominguez?
Yeah. So Jason Dominguez, I'll let you kind of get into it more. I just kind of had the outline here, but he becomes the Yankees' youngest player to ever have a three home run game. So if you think about that too, that's pretty impressive being a Yankee as far back as they go and how much talent they've had on their team from Maris and Mantle and Yogi Berra and all those guys. Some of them obviously weren't have moved there at a certain time, but being the youngest one to hit 3 home runs. And Dominguez kind of had a funny start to the season. I know he hasn't been able to hit much on the right side of the plate. Not sure if he hit all 3 of these batting lefty, or if any of them were righty at all. I don't know if you caught that, but 3 home runs in a game is huge. So maybe he found his swing and starting to get a little comfortable in there, because he was starting to worry me a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. The Yankees ended up winning 10-2 last night. Dominguez 3 home runs. Goldschmidt also hit a home run last night, helping me out a little bit in fantasy. So, yep.
Heck yeah.
And next recap I had was the Dodgers and Diamondbacks last night. I'm not sure how much of that you got to catch, but it was a doozy.
Yeah,
14-11 was the final.
Oof. Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty much. I did get to see some of the highlights. I saw the final score, but yeah, what all happened in that game?
Well, my pitcher's been doing pretty well up to this week. I had Sasaki, who's actually been doing fairly well in his first year. However, he did give up 5 earned runs last night. And then Gurriel ended up hitting a game-tying grand slam in the 5th inning, I think. Ketel Marte homered from both sides of the plate last night. I think Suarez also had a home run. Diamondbacks were up pretty late in the game. Dodgers ended up tying the game. And then Otani hit a go-ahead 3-run shot in the 9th. That kind of
course.
That kind of capped things off a little bit. So, and I believe Kike Hernandez also hit a home run that game. So, a lot of offense, a pretty good game by, this is a very competitive division, like we've already said. So, yeah.
Man. Enrique Kike Hernandez. That guy's always doing something, man. He's, especially if you have him in the playoffs. I mean,
Yeah.
Gosh dang. Yeah, the Dodgers team's pretty nutty, man. Otani just never fails. Like, you can pretty much, if when I'm watching the Dodgers games, I'm like, what is the chance Otani gets a hit here? It's pretty high. You know, just the way he approaches, I don't know. He's just a different guy. I'm not gonna sit here and yap on Otani all day, but everybody knows he's the best to do it. Yeah, I think Sasaki hasn't gotten a lot of love this year. He's not Yamamoto coming in and as experienced, or even some of these guys that come overseas, even Shota Imanaga. I mean, his nickname was the baseball philosopher or pitching philosopher or something. So Sasaki's still really young. People got to think about that, and for him to come over and to keep up with everything right now and doing what he's doing is pretty impressive. He may have gave up 5 earned runs, but man, I think Sasaki's pretty special actually. Once he gets through, see how he is at midseason, and that'll give you a little bit better of an idea. But again, it's still only his rookie season at a young age, so it's not like he's 30 years old and it's his rookie season. He's still got a lot of time to prove himself. So yeah, Dodgers squad's there.
Yeah, and then speaking of Yamamoto, as good as he is, he also gave up 5 earned runs the game before.
Yeah. I think he gave up a grand slam.
Good.
Yeah, he gave up that grand slam to Gabriel Marino, which was his first home run of the year. So, big home run from Marino off Yamamoto, and a big game, big position. I think it was a walk-off home run too, right? Or no, it was late innings maybe.
I think it was a late inning home run.
Yeah, because I think maybe like 7th inning or something like that, because Yamamoto was still pitching. So, yeah. But one person, I'll go ahead and throw that now. Did you see Cardinals had a good little start yesterday?
Oh yeah, they did.
What do you? Yeah, Fetty, he was able to go. He went to a complete game. I think 109 pitches. He almost, I think he was, and you may have this. He was almost breaking Greg Maddox's record, I think, for fewest pitches for a complete game shutout. I want to say it had to be like under 100 pitches. It was like 99 or less or something. He ended up going a little more over that, but you may have a little more on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think as far as complete games go without the shutout, I think Greg Maddux had a 76 pitch
Mm-hmm.
complete game. I don't think it was a shutout though. I could be
Oh,
wrong,
okay.
but yeah, I think complete game shutout. Yeah, I think it was in the 90s range.
Yeah.
Still an impressive start because the Nats have a good defense. As we
Yeah.
already had touched on, James Wood, C.J. Abrams, Dylan
Mhm.
Cruz is starting to play a little bit better. Keibert Ruiz, Nathaniel Los. I mean, they have some good hitters. So
Yeah.
Eric Fetty has been off to a kind of a so-so start. To have the complete game shutout now, I mean, could give them some confidence. And then Cardinals winning 10-0, offense still really
Popping off.
good.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they've won 6 straight, so they're back above 500. So
Yep.
who knows?
Yeah, Cardinals are just such a weird team, man, because I think the Cardinals fans had to realize that we're in a rebuilding stage, which usually we don't really have to worry about. We always have a pretty solid team. We're always a pretty good mix with vets and some young guys. But now we have mainly young guys on our team, not including Contreras or Arenado. But everyone else is pretty young for the most part. I guess you could say Lars is more of a vet now. But I mean, Mason Wynn, Victor Scott, Ivan Herrera, Pajes, even Gorman. He's kind of had a funky ride in the majors, so he spent a lot of his time down in AAA last year. Trying to work on those strikeout numbers, but super young team. I mean, but to keep up with what they're doing, I still don't think they're going to be able to do anything deeper in the season, if we're talking wild card or playoffs, just because the bullpen, starters have been excellent, I think, for the most part. I mean, obviously Sonny, he's been dealing, Liberatore. Maybe it might be his breakout year. He was really highly rated at one time, one of the best pitchers to come up, and never could really just find that, I guess. I don't know. But now that he's an everyday starter, I think that's, he's settled down a little bit and we're kind of seeing the real him. I mean, I don't know, man. I think the bullpen is the issue though. So there's still talks about trading Ryan Helsley later this year. And if you do that, then you can kind of just say, yeah, we're not trying for the playoffs. We're just completely in a rebuilding stage. So same thing with Arenado. They obviously trying to trade off Arenado. Why would you ever want to trade Arenado? The only reason is to rebuild your team. That's pretty much excluding yourself from the playoffs, in my opinion. You're telling yourself right there, hey, we're not going to go to the playoffs. Let's try to trade them. So if we make it to the playoffs, that'll be kind of a miracle, I think. And I think we're in the best division for that. The NL Central, other than the Cubs, I think every other team in the NL Central is beatable. I think each team can kind of say that about each other. But you want to go ahead and hit the standings, or did you have any other recaps?
I just had a couple short recaps. If you remember, Derek Shelton, Pirates manager, was relieved of his duties.
Yeah.
And Paul Skeens, I don't know if you saw his comment. He said somebody has to be held accountable.
Oof.
So, it's kind of,
Yeah.
But anyway, Don Kelly has taken over for now. In his managerial debut last night, he got a win. The Pirates beat the Braves 3-2.
Nice.
So good start, I guess, for Don Kelly. And let's hope it gets better for Pirates and Pirates fans.
Yeah,
because they've had it rough the last, not only decade, the last like 30 years or so. So
yeah.
And the other one, Tarek Skubal. I mean, what a game he had last night against the Rangers. 7 innings pitched, only 1 earned run and only 2 hits, no walks, 12 strikeouts. They won 2-1. So the Tigers are now 26-13. And I guess we can kind of touch on the standings a little bit. You mind if I start with the AL Central?
Yeah, go ahead.
So while we're on the subject, the AL Central is kind of starting to heat up a little bit more. Tigers are now like 26-13. Guardians 23-15. Royals have been wild.
Mm-hmm.
16. Even the Twins right now, they're back to 19-20. In the last 10 games, well, the Royals are 16-2 in their last 18 games, which is just incredible, which is kind of put them right back in this race. You know, when we were talking about standings before the season started, this is kind of the three teams at the top is kind of what we had, you know. I
Yep.
think we have the Royals winning the division. The Tigers are looking good, though. So that's going to be tough. But anyway, yeah. Last 10 games, the Tigers are 8-2. Guardians also 8-2. Royals 9-1. And even the Twins are 6-4 in their last 10. So, and White Sox are 4-6 in their last 10. So they're a little bit better than last season. But so, but
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the AL Central right now?
No, yeah, it's I've kind of had it. I think we talked about it before the season started. It was going to be a little bit of a toss up in that division. Kind of like the NL Central, but I think there's a little more talent in the AL Central compared to the NL Central. Detroit, though, yeah, they're incredible. Their bullpen's doing the same thing they were doing last year with keeping their ERA extremely low. Bullpen's been excellent for him, and everybody's hitting for him. Like absolutely everybody. They call up their guys. They hit Justin Malloy, Trey Sweeney. I don't think Jace Young has really found it yet. I don't even know if he's still up. They may have sent him back down. I'm not sure, but Justin Henry Malloy. Javi Baez, man, he's still hitting. I saw he got picked up in our fantasy league finally. I'm glad somebody picked him up because I was clicking on his name a lot. I was thinking about picking him up, but is to see Javi Baez doing good. Dylan Dingler, Riley Green been smacking the ball. I mean, he's Kerry Carpenter. They got
Yeah,
a
it's
squad.
everybody.
Colt Keith
No.
is starting to hit it a little bit now. So,
I
and then
know. I know we said I think we both had the Royals winning the division.
I think so. Yeah, maybe. I can't remember
And
what I
then
put for the AL Central, but
I think we had Royals, Tigers, Guardians. Man, I don't know. The Tigers, but the way they're playing, they might be AL Central champs. The Royals,
yeah,
they're also playing well, so that's kind of a toss up between them. Guardians, I still think they'll have a good chance at a playoff spot.
yeah, for sure. They've got some
You
good
know,
guys in their squad too. They might need to
yeah.
make a mid-season move before deadline. I don't think I'm really a fan of their rotation. I expected a lot more out of Gavin Williams this year. Maybe he had a good outing his last outing. I don't remember, but
And then
kind of underwhelming.
they need Shane Bieber to come back. I think it's
Yeah,
still July-ish, so we'll
yeah,
kind of see where
yeah,
they are by then. And then also for fantasy guys, Javi Baez, he's got shortstop, third base, and outfield eligibility.
yep,
So I think that was another good reason to pick him up, other than the
yeah.
fact that he's hitting well. So
Mm-hmm. So no White Sox. So you don't think they can come back from anything?
hey, I mean, maybe the Pope can give him some
Yeah,
good mojo there.
yeah. They need to trade Luis Robert first. Maybe to the Cardinals. We'll send you over somebody. But yeah, tough AL Central. Tigers, I believe. Let me see. Tigers have the best record in baseball, tied with the Dodgers, actually, of course. So to be tied with the Dodgers is pretty impressive from that Tigers team. But I'll go through the AL East right now. New York Yankees, first place, 22-16. Boston, 20-20. Toronto, 18-20. Tampa, 17-21. And Baltimore at 14-23. What a failure year for Baltimore so far. I mean, completely. I know many people had them winning the division this year, which was
It was
I didn't. Yeah,
wild to me, but
yeah.
their pitching, it's just
Yeah, they're not. They don't have a better team than anybody in that division right now. And the Rays, in my opinion, are a lot better than the Orioles. So
Yeah,
that's
I
rough
like
for
the
the
Rays.
Royals. AL Central, you hit AL West, Seattle 22-15. There you go. You called it. Let's go find that guy in the comments that didn't like your and see what he thinks now. Houston at 19-18, Athletics 20-19, Rangers 18-21, and the Angels at 15-22. So Rangers, man, they're I don't know, but they've been hitting the ball a little bit more lately. Somewhat, not even really, not even the guys that should be hitting the ball. Wyatt Langford's been hitting. Josh Smith's been hitting. I have
You gotta
Josh
have a
Young.
starter back.
Yeah. I have Josh Young and Adolis Garcia in my team, and they're not really doing too much right now, but Seattle, though, they're playing great baseball. Again, they're kind of like the Tigers team, man. Everybody on their team's just contributing, and their pitching's looking pretty good.
And
So
just to touch a little bit about the Mariners, still a lot of season left, of course. But as kind of like I was saying, their offense now they still have Kirby on the IL, Gilbert's on the IL. That was kind of a big thing that I was talking about. If they're pitching and stay healthy,
yeah,
their offense, honestly, kind of led by like Jorge Polanco, Cal Raleigh, Julio. I mean, Julio and Randy have been hitting a bit. But Cal Raleigh, I mean, what a season he's had so far. Jorge Polanco still, tearing the cover off the ball. So I'm kind of curious to see what kind of moves they might make at the deadline
yeah,
as far as offense goes. I think pitching, as long as they can get these guys back, Kirby's set to be back pretty soon, actually,
yeah.
within the next
Kirby,
few days.
and then Gilbert will be coming back too, right? He's not back yet.
No, I have to look and see when he's going to be back, but they can get those guys back in with like Brian Wu,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Luis Castillo.
Yep. And then if Bryce Miller, he's kind of had a
Yeah.
rough start, but if he can find his pitching a little bit, we know what he has. So
Yeah,
he might be someone that gets dealt in the trade though. If he
could be.
which would be good for him. Trade for a bat or something.
Yeah.
But moving on to the NL East, we got the Mets 25-15, Philly at 22-16, Atlanta 18-20, Washington 17-22, and Miami at 14-23. Mets continue to play baseball. But yeah, they got the Phillies creeping up on them. So I'm sure Atlanta will be back in that talk here before long. Strider should be coming back here in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be good for him to get him back. I'm also curious on, gonna watch closely to AJ Smith Shawver start tonight as well against the Pirates. He had a really good outing last week. First time going over 6 innings, but he does have some high expectations, I guess. So we'll see how this start goes for him. He might end up staying in that rotation for the remainder of the year. NL Central, though, the Cubs at 22-17, Cardinals at 20-19. We're right behind the Cubs right now. So see if they can keep that up. Milwaukee at 19-20, Cincinnati at 19-21, and Pittsburgh at 13-26. So pretty good little race there. Everybody's pretty tight in NL Central, excluding the Pirates, and I mean that's pretty given. I don't expect the Reds to really stay up there that long either. I think they actually didn't Hunter Green just get hurt.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was like day to day or something like that.
It might have been, but that's the one person you don't want to lose on if you're a Reds player because I mean he's got Cy Young potential. He was looking like one of the best pitchers in baseball. But yeah, I don't think it's anything serious from what I remember. And then the crazy NL West division, the Dodgers at 26-13, San Diego 24-13, Giants 24-15, Arizona at 20-19, and then the Rockies, maybe the new historical losing record. It's 6-32. They're on pace to win like under 30 games right now. So if they that would be a little bit crazy if we would see the White Sox last year have the most losses in history, and then the next year it's broken by the Rockies. Do you think that's going to happen?
I
Rockies
don't
look pretty
know.
hot.
I mean, I didn't even like. It's weird because I knew they weren't going to be great, but I didn't think they were going to be this bad. Now
I thought,
it has a lot
yeah,
to do with their division. I mean,
yeah,
they're in an absolute killer division. That's part of it.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I know Tovar's out. That doesn't help. I Chase Dolander. He didn't do like it really well when he came up. Marquez hasn't really been doing amazing. So
they have
pitching
no,
goes
yeah,
nothing. Offense
they have
hasn't
no
even
pitching.
really even at Coors Field.
Yeah,
Even at Coors Field, their offense hasn't been like amazing.
yeah,
Jordan Beck might be one of their better hitters right now, and then Hunter Goodman's been doing okay, I guess. So, but other than
Tolia's
that,
finally. I mean, he's still batting. I don't even know if he's batting 200 yet. Maybe around there, but I know. I mean, he wasn't expected to have a high batting average, Tolia, but he hit 25 home runs last season, and he was a really highly rated fantasy prospect going into this year for first baseman. Um, but I think he's been hitting a few home runs lately. But yeah, it's looking rough for the Rockies. Everything else I pretty much expect. That is a tough division right there. Jackson Merrill back with the Padres. He's been cranking the ball. He's had, I think, in his 3 games back already, he's already had a like 1 2-hit game and 2 3-hit games or something like that, or 2 2-hit games. But all multi-hit games since he's been back, including a home run. So love to see it. Giants, I mean, all of them are playing really good baseball. So that's
yeah,
the division to tune into right now for sure. But that is your standings, man. That's your standings, and I think it's gonna. I know it's still super early in the season, but I think this is kind of what it's gonna look like through majority of the season. I think some of these teams, like the Braves being 18-20, I think they'll probably fix that and
yeah,
have a winning record eventually. But with the Mets in first, Phillies in second, Braves in third, I think it's gonna be kind of bouncing back and forth between that for a while. So right now, Mets look like they have the best squad. So.
yep.
But did you have anything else?
Yeah, I wanted to first give a shout out to the Fresh Prince of Bel Air jersey, baseball jersey, Will Smith on the back.
Yeah.
Haven't gotten to bring this one out yet. So, and then my crazy MLB stat of the video. Um, Kind of a trivia question. Do you know who has the most career shutouts by a pitcher ever?
Most career shutouts.
Yeah.
Let's go with
It's
Mark
it's an old
Burley.
one.
Oh,
Mark Burley.
Rolly
old,
fingers.
old,
Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson's my guess.
old,
Oh,
older.
now you're gonna have to help me out on that.
All right, most career shutouts ever by a pitcher is Walter Johnson.
Oh, okay.
So
I
he
think
had a hundred.
keep in mind.
He had 110 career shutouts, which is insane.
Yeah.
But he is, yeah, obviously number one on that list. Do you know who the most recent guy on this list that's come close to that? And it's still really not even that close.
Is he playing right now?
No,
Pedro Martinez.
it's a good guess. A little bit older.
Hmm.
I'll give you one hit. He has the most career no hitters.
Oh, Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, so Nolan Ryan is at number 7 on this list with 61 shutouts. So
Hmm.
he's still quite a bit behind, as good as Nolan Ryan was. Now,
Yeah.
one more little trivia question about this. So the most recent name in the last 20 years to play. You want to take a guess on who?
Most recent name
So
in the last 20 years to what?
on the shutout list, like the
Oh.
closest. So he played so he started in the early 80s and he retired in '07. So within the last 20 years, but he's still one of the most recent names on this list.
07. Who'd he end with?
The Yankees.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I should know this. Is it a given? Like I should know this?
Yeah, he's should be in the Hall of Fame in my
Oh,
opinion.
no. I was gonna say he started later, I think. Randy Johnson started later, right?
He did play for the Yankees later in his career, but he didn't end
Yeah.
with the Yankees.
I forget. Who is it?
It's the Rocket.
Oh, okay.
So Roger Clemens
Yeah, that was
he's at number 26 on this list with 46 shutouts.
nice.
So even as good as talented as Roger Clemens was in his career, just shows you how good Walter Johnson was.
Yeah.
110 shutouts compared to 61 with Nolan Ryan and Tom Seaver, and then 46 with Roger Clemens.
Yeah, that's
pretty insane.
Yeah, Roger Clemens, man. I saw he was at the game the other day, and Cody Clemens hit, I guess, his first career home run.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, I got one little question for you, trivia, before we go. See if you can guess this player. Listed at 5'10", 170 pounds. He had 1,369 at bats. He hit a 279 with 19 home runs, 163 RBIs, 39 stolen bases, and a .717 OPS. He played his career in St. Louis, Philly, and Chicago.
St. Louis, Philly, and Chicago. Do I get a hit on maybe the timeline?
He was an outfielder. He played from 2002 to 2009. He was never a big home run hitter, but he was great at defense, and he got on base a lot.
Okay, was he a World Series champion at all?
He was not, but he did go to the World, or he was. He was a World Series champion, yeah. He went twice.
Oh, he won twice.
No, he went to the World Series twice. He was on. He may have won again. Yeah. No, that's right.
Because I have one guy in my mind, and I don't think it's right, but I'm gonna take my first guess and say Sho Taguchi.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You said Cubs, and I'm like, I don't remember him playing. I know he played with the Cardinals and Phillies, but did he sign a minor league deal or something with the Cubs?
He did, but he looks like he had 11 at bats up with the Cubs in 2009. He was last.
So yeah, Sho Taguchi's name was in there the whole time, but I was like, oh, the Cubs. That's why it was like throwing me off. But then
Sho Taguchi.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, loved watching him. Well, I think that's it. It's time to go enjoy the weekend a little bit, and baseball will be back on tonight, so we'll be tuned into that. Also, if you're a card collector, Bowman's out, new 2025. Might open these up later. Hopefully, I get something good.
Yep. So we should be back, I guess, Monday, more than likely Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah. I might. I have a baseball game Monday, but there's a chance I'll shoot for Monday, but if not, probably Tuesday. So.
All right. Look forward to that.
All right. 643.
Peace out.
Peace.